I try to get follow on because I hate what this thing they are doing. So one of the things I have to do as a Sahara reporter is to travel underground in Nigeria and detect it. So in November, I went to Nigeria, and because Nigeria is such an interesting case of chaos, mismanagement, lawlessness, I find myself in the eastern city of Onitsha where there's a complete traffic gridlock. I mean, if you're talking about gridlock, you're talking about go slow as you know it on steroids. But this particular go slow or traffic gridlock was caused by policemen extorting money from road users. But when it got crazy, of course, they took their checkpoint, which is mobile in nature, and they ran off. And they leave the mess for the ordinary road users to clean. But to compound things, of course, the rich man shows up. You know, the public official who's escorted by gun-wielding policemen show up, and here they are trying to clear the road for this big man. The man who's been escorted here is the commissioner in Anambra State. You know, and as they come, of course, they use their gun to harass everybody and push them up the way and create more chaos on the street. This is chaos of the worst order, and I'm there in the middle of the night filming this, just hiding in a corner, filming this chaos in Onitsha. Onitsha is the only place through which you can enter the eastern part of Nigeria, and it has only one bridge, one tiny little bridge called Niger Bridge. And as the chaos mounted, of course, the buses in numbers are dying and people are pushing them up the road so that they can get to where they're going. But the chaos continues in the middle of Onitsha, and the police comes and create more confusion, and then they run away. You know, they succeeded in getting the big man to pass through, and here we are. Here comes self-help. So this is a combination of drivers, conductors, street urchins, pickpockets, motorbike riders trying to help themselves, you know, trying to clear this traffic, trying to clean this mess created by the police. So the next problem in Nigeria is, of course, the total lack of electricity. So everybody in Nigeria must own his own generator. And most of the time, because they overwork, they catch fire. So I'm in the middle of this place in the Ikeja called the Computer Village, and a generator, a Yamaha small generator, just caught fire. And they're trying to put off the fire by all means necessary, okay? So they succeeded. But there's a rusty fire station 50 meters away, nicely parked fire vehicle that couldn't have made it into the market anyway, even if he wanted. But the owner of this generator brought out his only fire extinguisher, and the fire is extinguished. But before he could finish that, the second generator catches fire. So here we go. So we're trying to go on the highway now to count the number of roadblocks mounted by policemen on Nigerian roads. It's pretty dangerous to film Nigerian policemen, but we're going to try and hope that our cameras and ourselves survive this. We've seen two roadblocks. Two major causes of accident on Nigerian roads are trailers, reckless trailer drivers, reckless parking of trailers, and of course, the notorious Nigerian policemen who mount roadblocks every 1 kilometer to extort bribes from drivers, road users. So we'll see how this goes. Police checkpoint. So we're going after the police checkpoints. You've seen the pictures of policemen. Some of the cars have been shot at because they refuse to give bribes. And we came across one very early in the morning. This is a checkpoint right here. Early in the morning, it creates traffic And the idea is to create the traffic, and they use the torchlight to flash you down. You see that light in your face, it's give me bribe or you die. You know, so we come across another one, and what is happening here is a changeover of duty. The policeman at night who had been collecting bribe, of course, takes the bribes in a bag, and the new ones help him find a vehicle that takes him to the police station, right? And they say goodbye to him, and the business continues of extortion. So more traffic and more traffic. So this next checkpoint is actually not by the police. It was a checkpoint created by street urchins, but they work with the police as well. So every checkpoint you see has police imprint on it. So we're here, there's another checkpoint, and we keep going because we really have to show how the business of extortion takes place. But then we ran into a different scenario on the street of chaos. This is soldiers pointing a gun and beating up on the street a motorbike rider. We don't know what the argument was, but you're welcome to Nigeria. It's a police state. So this is soldiers beating civilians, and at the end, some kind of settlement have to be arrived at where the soldiers are also paid off. So we keep going.
Man, thousands of roadblocks, man.
And we meet more of the policemen on the street. This is another scene of negotiation. They stop you on the road, and you have to have this discussion, and you have to come out of your vehicle to negotiate how much you pay. And you look at the left, this is a real police, extortion at gunpoint that you're about to see. They create a traffic jam first, and then out of the traffic jam, they start looking at the individuals and start negotiating. So we're about to show you a police officer actually negotiating to collect bribe from a trailer driver. So here he is. He holds him to ransom, and he stretches his palm. It is time for bribe.
That was a gunshot, I think. That's a gunshot, right?
We ran into an ambush. But this ambush, we didn't know what it was. At first we thought it was an armed robbery ambush. But later we began to see the paraphernalia of police checkpoints. You see huge bonfires. And of course, we heard gunshots and we heard some funny noise. And I'm here telling my driver, don't put on the light. Don't put on the light so they don't see our camera. We wanted to see if we could film a little bit of the action going on here. But it got dangerous. So we're looking at the police officer collecting money, and we're looking at the bonfire and looking at the whole setup. This is an ambush called a police checkpoint, and it got dangerous, and we had to hide our camera lenses.
Mighty tunnel, sir. See, they're shooting. Who's that?
Wow. Part of it. And it became our turn to explain who we are.
Press. What am I looking?
Press.
You are turning upside down. Who are you, please?
Press.
Go on from the court this night.
We go Akure now, we go cover something. You see the team for here
Carry
now.
on. We go. Let up! Let up!
That's scary. It started shooting.
So we're going to see another scene of,
King of Coca-Cola.
if you're in Nigeria, Nigeria is owned by two sets of people, or bodies. That's the corporations and the police and the army and security forces. Even under civilian regimes, the police is very powerful. It's a police state, So we are behind the Coca-Cola truck, king of the road. He does what he likes. He doesn't even care about us. and then we run into another police checkpoint. And something interesting happened. One of the things that is very common in Nigeria is to go actually hire security agents to escort goods, contraband goods. So this is a container. Nobody knows what's inside the container. I was just ran into this container. We were just following them. And because they noticed we were following them, they kind of started playing decoy, you know. So the escort goes beyond or goes ahead of this container, but we kept following. But later it was obvious that they were escorting the container. And at the point, they had to ask us to step back, you know, from following them. But this is just interesting that if you have money, you can actually escort the weapons of mass destruction across Nigeria with the help of security agencies, with all the full paraphernalia of the office. So we just want to show you a few more things in Nigeria: the people, our roads, you know, our mode of transportation, you know, the situation with electricity, our police, in the road accidents, and, you know, of course, this violence that you see everywhere, and of course, little kids selling things on the streets, and just the general lack of order in the country called Nigeria. You know, there's a soldier buying gas, and policemen, of course, extorting more money on the street. And then I had to leave. You know, after 4 days, I'm leaving Nigeria. So first I'm taking a cab and heading towards whatever. And if you think I'm getting on an airplane, you're wrong. You know, I'm taking my most preferred mode of transportation to get out of Nigeria. End of November 2011. This is a motorbike. Time to go. So it's from a highway to a dirt road in the middle of the forest. And I leave. You know, I leave behind Nigeria, a country that is blessed, beautiful, but it's in the hands of organized criminals. This has been a Sahara Reporters production from underground in Nigeria.